Brutal, without mercy. But you will be worse. Rip and tear, until it is done.
It's been 12 years since Doom 3 graced our computers worldwide, and at the time it was an absolute stunner in terms of presentation, with its heralding of fantastic real-time shadows in games being a major selling point. But there were many fans left feeling hollow after completing Doom 3's campaign. Gone was the fast strafing combat that played out in Doom 1 and Doom 2, Doom 3 was an entirely story and atmosphere-focused game. While some could argue that this was a good thing, I personally enjoyed Doom 3, it was certainly the coming of a new age in first-person shooters, so much so that it's taken 12 years for a proper Doom sequel to be released. I give this context as it's worth remembering how games once were. With graphical fidelity being a limited feature in games of yesteryear, everything was centred around the gameplay itself. With graphics no longer being a worry, games are ever more trying to strive towards realism, much to the detriment of gameplay. Doom is a love letter to these games of yesteryear, albeit with a brand new shine to the graphics and a slightly updated control style that's sure to make fans go crazy. The campaign starts off as it means to go on, giving relatively little story and getting you straight into the action. After a few seconds of donning your suit, it's time to start demon killing, and Doom wastes no time in giving you plenty of demons to take on. This shorthand way of giving you tidbits of story and background whilst forcing you to partake in the gameplay 90% of the time is a fantastic change from Doom 3, and means there's rarely a moment where you can calm down and take in the scenery. One of the first things that's apparent when you first start navigating Doom's corridors is its insane speed. After years of first-person shooters getting slower due to realism, Doom feels like a breath of fresh air. This speed not only works in conjunction with how large the levels are, but also in the large open expanses where you get to battle demons without being constrained to tiny corridors. It's fantastic and allows you a sense of freedom as you decide how to go about destroying a horde of demons within an arena. You traverse the environment so fast, in fact, that it feels like a shame that we're ignoring the beautiful levels and art on display. It's not long before you also start glory killing demons that you weaken enough to stammer. This brutal animation takes 3 to 4 seconds away from the madness, and in return gives you a close-up of the demons getting destroyed by your own hands. What at first seems like mindless violence for the sake of violence, soon becomes apparent that it's actually a gameplay mechanic, an essential one at that. Each time you kill an enemy in this way, you're rewarded with health. The amount depends on the size of the demon you kill. This risk/reward mechanic really helps to keep the combat entertaining, but also a puzzle. I consistently found myself having the thought pattern of, if I glory kill this enemy at the side, it will allow the other imps chasing me a chance to hurt me the second I get out of the animation, but I'll get much needed health, which is an insanely difficult decision to make given the speed of the game. Before long you'll be getting into a rhythm of how to take on the demons. Run into a new area and proceed to run in circles, strafing out of the way of fire from imps, and proceeding to mow down everything in sight. It's when you've started to master the combat that the true genius of Doom's design becomes apparent. It's level design. Like classic Doom games, Doom has plenty of secrets throughout with the levels, along with plenty of side objectives and enough bonus loot to drive you insane. Each side objective can relate to either combat or map searching. For example, some may require 5 different imp glory kills, with others being to find 3 secrets on the map. These were enjoyable in their own right, and had me staying on a level well past killing everything in sight, backtracking and platforming, yes, a first-person shooter has platforming sections, through parts of the level that I thought I had explored to their utmost, only to find a lever I never saw in the first time round. It's exciting and clever in an age where levels are frequently used as a decoration rather than actual things that have an impact on gameplay. The weapons you can use are a breath of fresh air in our current gaming world where every shooter is pushing us to focus on the weapon by pressing the left trigger. Not so with Doom, where every gun doesn't need to be reload and there's no need to zoom in. Given the speed you run throughout the levels, it would be crazy to have a smart zoom system. Even so, its absence feels fantastic. In its place is a new gun mode system, where by pressing the traditional left trigger activates a second mode on the currently equipped weapon. For the assault rifle, for example, pressing the left trigger activates a missile mode, which uses twice as much ammo, but my god does it mow down demons like nobody's business. These weapon mods can be found from utility robots throughout levels, and can be upgraded using points unlocked through either defeating enemies or completing the aforementioned side objectives. Each mod has an upgrade tree which accumulate to a master unlock, which in all cases makes the weapon even more powerful. The upgrade tree also applies to your suit should you find the right upgrade parts hidden throughout the levels. From health to armour to explosion resistance, it can all be upgraded, and in doing so makes for an overpowering feeling whilst taking on demons. The campaign isn't the only mode Doom has to offer, with a multiplayer mode present and a new snap map mode. The former is what you would expect from an ID title: fast, hectic, crazy free-for-all multiplayer across multiple maps and multiple game modes. My only gripe with this mode is that it doesn't feel as fast as the campaign or the snap map mode, with the hacks and weapons all feeling clunky and more like modern first-person shooters than a true representation of Doom in all of its glory. It's still enjoyable, don't get me wrong, but the multiplayer doesn't hold a candle to the campaign. As for the snap map mode, holy crap can I foresee this being something players come back to time and time again for the next few years. Put simply, it's a mode where people can make their own custom maps and modes, with contextual information and most, but not all, assets from the campaign being available. Current early offerings from the community include boss rushes, story modes, and time trails, all with the same gameplay from the campaign, albeit with friends should you wish. It reminds me of Left 4 Dead's hectic and frantic mod scene, where all new stories and modes can come up from the community, and for that reason alone I look forward to seeing what comes of it. And it has to be said, it's hard to state how damn addictive this complete package is. Even before completing the campaign, I was quietly hoping that there would be a new game plus, just so that I could jump straight back into the campaign on a harder difficulty and take on everything Hal had to throw at me, with all my upgraded weapons. The satisfaction you get whilst traversing the world is genuinely enthralling, and whilst I got most of the collectibles during my initial playthrough, I still wanted to go back to find more. Presentation-wise, Doom is absolutely stunning. On PC at ultra settings, everything is pristine and sharp, with demons looking as gory as ever and environments having fantastic particle effects which really bring the action to life. It can get a little overwhelming at times. The fast action and explosions galore do make for a very active scene, but it's all planned destruction rather than randomness, and makes for an entertaining adrenaline-filled action sequence every time you get into a fight with demon hordes. On the topic of presentation, we also have the sound, which in Doom's case is absolutely stellar. Every weapon's sound effects are awe-inspiring, adding to the weapon's feel and feedback. The music, while sparse, also helps to keep you entertained during intense battles, with heavy metal booming out of your speakers whilst you're running around punching demons. In conclusion, Doom is a love letter to fans of the games from yesteryear, taking the best advancements of the last 12 years and putting them into a package worthy of any gamer. Should you take the plunge and buy Doom, be warned that the high-octane action will take some getting used to, but it'll be worth it by the end. Given how much fun this classic form of gameplay has been, I'm concerned I may not be able to go back to enjoy current first-person shooters on the market, a testament, if any, to how grand and ridiculously fun Doom is.